Today, I'm going to be making a video on Nakamoto Games, which I believe is one of the only gaming cryptos with true 100x potential this bull run. It's undervalued, not many people know about it. However, in recent times, I'm starting to notice many YouTubers creep up to start talking about this project and making videos on it. Maybe that's something to come. Maybe we will see some of the larger YouTubers start to discuss this project in the near future. Let's get straight into the video. So for those who don't know, Nakamoto Games, as I said, is a gaming crypto hub. They have many options that you can play. It's not just one game, it's not just two, but it's absolutely hundreds of them. They're simple kind of mini games stretching different sectors of the gaming industry. You've got simple games like 8-Ball Pool. You've got kind of iPhone type games, that you'll play on your phone. But they also have more sophisticated games, such as their shooters, such as Naka Strike. So I really like the variability with this project. I like the fact that there's so many different options. They're free to play, but you can also play them and kind of gamble your money. Now, look, guys, I'm not the biggest gambler in the world. I don't gamble. I don't really recommend it for anyone. Unless you're just wanting to mess around and have a bit of fun. I don't really recommend gambling because it is risky and it's not the best thing to do in the world. However, people do it, right? People gamble and people want to play games and kind of gamble playing games. Now, this is how I would equate this to gambling, right? It's not like gambling in a casino. This is more like you play your friend on a game. You both have a game of pool, and whoever wins takes the money, right? Think about it like that. You have a game of FIFA with your friend. Whoever wins gets the money. It's kind of like wagers. That's what this is. And I really like that idea. I think people are going to be playing those. People are wanting to make money on some of the games they love. And what better way to do it with something as quick and modern as cryptocurrency? And that is what Nakamoto Games are allowing for. So, like I said, loads of different types of games. They have card games, they have shooters, they have simple games like 8-Ball Pool. Loads of different types. And this is where the power of Nakamoto Games truly comes in because of the different options that you have with their gaming ecosystem. And you can see them obviously here, right? So that's the number one selling point with Nakamoto Games. The amount of games, the sheer amount of games, but also the quality. I've seen people play them online. I've watched videos of people play them. They look good. They look simple to play, not complex, not like these crypto games where you have to read 20 different pages before you can start playing the game. It's simple, straight to the point, no messing around, no jargon. I really like that. Furthermore, Nakamoto Games is also built on Matic, which adds to the scalability. It's an up-and-coming layer 2. More people are talking about Matic than ever, and I think it's really smart of them to go on Matic rather than Ethereum, which obviously has higher fees. So they're thinking for the future. They're thinking many steps ahead of the rest of the crowd by building on Matic. I think it's a very smart thing to do. In terms of the tokenomics for Nakamoto Games, I believe they are very good, right? 64 out of 180. You're not going to have too much dilution, and that's not really going to be a worry, right? Many gaming projects I've seen, such as some of the new ones, such as GFAL and Miria, have tokenomics of around 5% or less. That means there's going to be a 95% inflation rate. That is not ideal for most investors. However, Nakamoto Games aren't going to have much dilution, so we don't really have to worry too much. Now, I mentioned at the start that this is a 100x gem. Now, what do I mean by a 100x gem? I basically mean that it is absolutely feasible for this to 100x. I see people on YouTube calling Matic, calling Cardano, calling XRP 100x gems. They are not 100x gems, right? XRP is not going to 100x anytime soon. Maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, but it's not going to do that anytime soon, right? People need to realize this. Stop calling high caps 100x gems. In order to gain a 100x in crypto, you need to look low down. You need to look at the low caps. And if this was to 100x, that would put the market cap at around $2.9 billion. Think about that. The sheer amount of games that Nakamoto has, taking it to $2.5 billion, isn't too crazy when you consider that Axie Infinity went to $10 billion and when you consider that Gala went to around $5 or $6 billion in the last cycle, right? You would expect this cycle, Gala's going to go to around $15 billion. So even if Gala went to 15 and Nakamoto went to 2.9 billion, Gala would still be way bigger than Nakamoto. So I'm not comparing them in terms of their ability. I'm just saying I'm using Gala as a framework. Even if Nakamoto Games was to 100x, it would still be smaller than what Gala was in the previous cycle. Let that sink in. Gaming was nowhere near as big in the previous cycle as what I think it will be this cycle. You're seeing big names get in the gaming space now. You're seeing people take it seriously. It's no longer just a fad, right? It's an emerging market that people are starting to take serious, right? Also, Nakamoto Games have a fairly sizable Twitter following. Lots of people are obviously following them on Twitter. They're posting regular. 6 hours ago, they made a post. And they also have this really interesting thing called the Nakaverse. So if they bring in, if Metaverse becomes big, if that becomes a huge narrative again this cycle, Nakamoto Games are going to perfectly tap into that sector and therefore generate a lot of hype. And you guys need to know in the crypto space, I talk about this a lot. There's always this dichotomy between hype and utility. And I personally believe that gaming projects have the best of both worlds. They're not a meme coin like Pepe, but they're not a boring kind of utilitarian coin like a DEX tools or a pancake swap. They're somewhere in the middle. And that is why gaming is by far the best narrative in crypto to invest in. Again, my opinion, nothing in this video is financial advice. It says here, get ready for the ultimate showdown on Nakamoto Games. We're thrilled to bring you Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to the Naka universe. Train your chosen titan with AI, voice command their moves, and control the fight of the century. Ready to join the ring and make gaming history. You can see they getting involved in kind of up and coming things. They're jumping onto hype. Is that Dogecoin there? So you can see this. They're jumping onto the hype. They know what gets the eyes. They know what gets people talking about them. Very, very smart from the Nakamoto Games team. So where can it go? I believe it can do a 100x, $2.9 billion in market cap in the last cycle. And if you were fortunate enough to be a Patreon of mine, you would have been getting into Nakamoto Games at fragments of that price, guys. I'm talking all the way down here around $4 to $5 to $6 to $7 million in market cap. You would have been picking this one up, right? I believe my Patreons were getting into this one around these levels. You would be up around 5x or so had you have been buying when my patrons were 5 or 6x. You would be up, right? You're not complaining. 5 or 6x up right now means that if Nakamoto Games does a 100x, my patrons won't be making 100x from here. They'll be making 500x or 600x from these levels, right? And so will I, obviously, because I did a buy alert for it. So I'm happy with a 500x. I'm happy with a 600x. But I'm sure you guys who, you could say are late to the game would be happy with a 100x. However, if you no longer want to be late to the games, guys, if you want to get into these projects when no one's talking about them, when people like myself and others are finding them at fragments of the price that they are now and fragments of the price that they will be at the top of the bull run, my Patreon is without doubt the best place to be. Like I said, I can't remember the exact number, but my patrons were buying this one really, really early on. Some of them were buying it around the $4 million range. I think most were probably buying it around the $7 million range in market cap, right? But you're not complaining either way. It's up. You're going to be making loads of money if you hold until the next bull run, right? So this is my Patreon group. This is the place to make the money. I believe this month is going to be very good for crypto altcoins. So what better time to join than right now? If you are just starting off, I highly recommend, I can't express this enough, I highly recommend the VIP Plus tier. This is the one that most people tend to go for because it gives you not only the buy alerts, not only the sell alerts, not only access to my portfolio, but it also gives you access to the VIP Telegram group. This is the group where loads of people are in. I believe we have like almost 300 members, 280, 290 members, right? Loads of people in this group. all talking about crypto on a very active basis. As I've been making this video right now, people have been talking in that group. So it's very active. People are serious about making money and they're coming in, sharing their gems, and other people in the group go and research them and critique them. I'm active in it myself. I send voice messages out. I reply to people's questions. It's the best place to be, guys, if you want to contact me on a regular basis. Also, you don't just get that. I'm going to be starting daily live streams on my channel. And after the live stream, we're going to go over to do a webinar, and my Patreons will have access. The VIP Plus Patreons will have access to the daily webinars that I'm going to be doing over in the Patreon group. However, if you're even more serious, guys, check out the boss tier. If you want to book a one-to-one call with myself, we can talk for 30 minutes. We can talk for an hour. Book it on the boss tier. Get that tier, and you'll be able to call me, and we'll be able to go over any of your crypto needs. So if you want me to literally critique your portfolio, go over anything you want, we can do it. If you're a beginner, an intermediate, or whatever, it does not matter. Finally, there's something for everyone in this group. Even if you're on a lower budget, you can still get a lot out of it because there's an absolute abundance of benefits in joining the group. Guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video tomorrow. Goodbye.